Hello, welcome to Shrimps and Snails. I'm about to leave here and go out and see a chap called Gavin. Now he specialises in breeding for resale of corys. He's got some shrimp in there and he's got plenty of other bits and pieces for you to have a look at. So
all the eggs from 1 week go. Then there's a couple of some pandas, and there's some triloniatus and whatever. So there's quite a few different species in there. But my problem has been, like with this tank, is this fungus on the eggs. Some of the species are very susceptible to fungus. Yeah. There's a few, there's scleromistics, barbatus and a few other things, but this week's yield is bad. Until I'd run out of border cones.
okay.
See, so now I'm back to border cones and oak leaves now, which helps to cut down on the
algae on it.
So it inhibits, it doesn't completely get rid of them. Those are sort of throwbacks from Bloody Marys that I threw in there. Oh no, sorry, that's the I found a few red willies coming out of cherries, so I threw them in there. I only had about 5 or 6, but look at it now.
I know, there's loads of buried ones in there.
And I've just got to get rid of them, get rid of the bad ones. You know, well, not to say true red willies. Yeah. Yeah, just select and.
Well,
look, these are the throwbacks from the Bloody Marys, and the Bloody Marys are here.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, there's
loads of buried ones.
Yeah.
What's on this hatchling tank?
Well, that's last week's eggs. So obviously, some of the fry have hatched out, and when they're really young, they hide in the gravel. That's why I do this. A lot of guys just have sand. What I've found is young corys like to hide.
Okay.
And what I've proven this, it works. They hide in here for the first week, roughly. And only after a week you see them coming out. I've even seen them go down this deep in the gravel looking for food when they're little things. And it gives them security, so they get very stressed out when they haven't got a place to hide. But as they get bigger, then they feel a bit more secure, and then they start coming out.
Yeah.
So it's my method that's been developed. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. There's loads in this one.
I got 251 eggs out of those guys. These are the parents.
Okay.
See this.
All right. Yeah.
That's my longfin Corydoras. That particular week, 251 eggs. Sometimes I get a low rate. I mean, I got like a 50%, or 38% yield or something like that out of 250 or 500 something. I got 200 something eggs, but each yield is different, you know. But this is there's some throwbacks that I've thrown in here out of Bloody Marys, and those are going to the cherries now because I've hoiked quite a few of them out, which turned out to be more cherries than Bloody Marys. Yeah. So I take those out and I throw them back in. Taken a lot out. I just leave them in this tank to breed, and then when I see nice colours that are cherries, then I throw them in with the rest of them and let them breed there. This is my duplicarius. Yeah, these guys are roughly they retail around about 20 odd pounds. Actually, they have done something. Look.
Yeah, I can see something on the leaf just there.
They've done it last night. There was no eggs last night when I left, so they must have done it early this morning. They've spawned.
So do you find the shrimp help clean the eggs, or do they eat the eggs?
Well, they eat the.
Or do they eat the bad ones?
They eat the infertiles. They don't eat the.
Got some down there as well.
Yeah, there's eggs everywhere. And these are equus. These retail about 25. They are very difficult species to spawn. I just got another 6 in from Rory. I did a swap with gold lasers for these, so I gave him 2 gold lasers. I only paid £9, but they normally retail at 25.
Yeah.
But I've asked him for another 3. I've got 12 there. You can't see on colour. They were very active yesterday. There's one.
Yeah.
Just see
see one
There's
there.
a little fry about that big I saw last night somewhere in this tank. But they're different in that they're just a slate grey with like rusty dorsals and rusty caudal fins. So it's sort of unicolour. That's why they call it pond colour. You know, just one slate grey. This is a Venezuelanus. They call it the orange cory, but the one I've got looks like what they call the black She's so dark, she's almost completely black.
Yeah.
But that's Venezuelanus. Obviously from Venezuela.
Sit down here. What we got down here? Guppies.
Well, you see what happened is Jolly's, a customer came in with a whole lot of guppies and just said to Tom, I can't cope, there's a whole lot, you can have them. He said, well, we can't keep them in the shop, though. You know, you can't hold on to them until they're saleable. He put them into the quarantine tank. He said, if you want them, you can have them. So I've sold 40 of them already down to Cherry. I've had them for about 6 months. I grew them on throughout the duds, you know, and just, so I was getting £1 each for them.
Yeah.
That's everything in there comes from you. That's Paracaridina.
Yeah.
And the tigers, what they were. They do pretty well. I found one dead about 2 weeks ago, but I think it's one of those tigers.
Yeah.
I don't think it was stuck on the big filter at the bottom. But they're all around and doing things, so...
Yeah, I can see 2 blue bees, 3 blue bees.
Yeah, they're around. That's pure drain water in there.
Yeah.
It's not tap water.
So it'll probably take them a couple of weeks to get used to that as well, different
Well,
waters.
they've been in here obviously about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Since I bought them from you, maybe even 2 months.
Right. That's after you.
Well, I mean, that's a little Loretoensis. I had 3, 1 died. It's a sweet little species, nice little one. I'm looking for some more.
And again, lots of saddled mamas.
Yes, oh yeah, there's lots all over the place. When I feed them at night and I drop all the pellets and stuff down here, then it's just like conglomeration. There's a couple of eggs up there. This is a species called Gossi. They didn't spawn for quite a while now, about last week or so, the week before I think, they started spawning again. When they were in my lounge, they used to spawn a lot. But they're very rare in the trade.
Yeah.
This one's quite common, but it's a very nice species. That's Sturbe. They spawn for me like 3, sometimes 4, even 5 times a week. Like 50 eggs here, and 30 eggs there, another 70, another 80, and so they go. These guys spawn almost every night, but the problem is they eat the eggs and stuff.
Okay.
I haven't cleared the net yet. I just put it up there, but there's some going into the spawning.
Okay.
So they go and eat. That's my major problem with pandas.
That's a nice little red one.
Yeah, I pull all the red ones out and I throw them in there. There's lots of different. Some of them come out orange, like that one over there. And I mean, there's a lot of pales, but I've got black ones. I've only bought, I bought about
Dark
20.
ones,
I bought like 20 from Cherry at Wholesale Tropicals, and it's just my Triloniatus that are inside here. But ultimately, I'm taking the Triloniatus that are sitting underneath that. You can see them there. They're coming out and they're going into one of those tanks that's outside. It's going on top there. And this will be only the so-called chocolates. And this is my gold lasers.
There you go.
They're the money spinner from here. They haven't spawned for 2 weeks, but they spawn normally every week. As I say, I've got about 500 of them in stock. And there's a little red one, you can see. Throwback from the chocolates.
What have we got up here?
Well, that's pandas. That's a little miniature species called Astatus. Well, I had pygmaeus in there, but what I've done, anything that was blue that came out of here, I threw in there. So there's a group of, there were about 5 or 6 in there. I don't know. I haven't bothered with the tank because I just leave them in there just to carry on in the meantime.
Oh, so there could be something exciting in here.
I don't know. There's some nice blues, but I don't have time to clean that tank. The tank needs to be cleaned because all my pygmaeus died, so I've got to take that whole tank apart, strip it right down, get rid of all the rubbish, sterilize it and put it back together again.
Yeah.
Because I can't put fish in there if I've got a bug, a parasite or something like that attacks the fish.
Yeah.
The shrimp are doing that.
I do like the float-in. I can't remember what we call
Well, I
it now,
like
Riccia.
that's Riccia, yeah. I see the shrimp like it.
Yeah.
I bought some and it just multiplies. I've got a friend who's got a fish tank and he super feeds his plants. He keeps on bringing me bags of plants because he fertilizes like, you know, at least every week, you know, I mean, and super fertilizes. The glass isn't very clean on that tank, but that's a Schultz's, what they call black. They're not really black, they're chocolate brown.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fish in there. There's like there's gold lasers, there's Weizmannis, Venezuelanus, Sturbe, Triloniatus, then there's Grimastex barbatus, so I've got Schultz's chocolate.
Absolutely hundreds in there.
Yeah, there's about 800 fish in that tank.
I like the dark ones.
They're
Chocolate.
nice. And then down the bottom that's Ancestris. It's known as marbled or calico. It was actually bred, apparently, from what I can gather, from planet catfish by a German chap out of a species called cirrhosis. If you looked at the original cirrhosis, you wouldn't believe that you could actually get something like that out of a cirrhosis. But there's more than 100 little ones inside there. There's another batch on the ways. This is a species called CW. There's a male inside there with eggs. Some of the bigger ones I've sold. I mean, this tank was crawling. I've basically sold everything out of the tank. But I've got a few adults. This is CW 016. No, it's not CW. LDA 016.
Yeah.
I've got a few other ancestors. Like there's a inside there. That one's 141, and inside there's albinos. This is my barbatus. They're like £25 a ton. They spawn every week for me, sometimes twice a week. Sometimes 80 eggs, sometimes like 1 week ago there was like 70 eggs and another 131, and so they're doing pretty well. There's only 5 here, I've got one smell, and that's closely related, that's Crony, K-R-O-N-E-I. I had 4 and I've got another 6 from 2, so there's 10 there now. I haven't done anything yet. This is another species that I really like, CW045s. A big species, they haven't done anything for me yet, but again, it's one of my cream, that £25 a touch retail wise. So
This one, we've just got some random stuff.
Well, that's my stock. The other tank that's outside sprung a leak. The bigger tank, I had 60 litres of water on the ground. The seam, the base, I didn't know, I've just got this in last week, the silicon, so I wanted to repair it last week, then I realised I thought I had a whole tube here, but when I came it was that much in the bottom of the tube, so there's no way I could fix it, so I had to order some more. There's another little, I don't know if you can see it, there it is. That's CW49s. They're also like £25 a ton. They're a very nice little species. They haven't done anything yet. This is the Moscow guppies.
Those guppies, though.
They're nice, aren't they? Very nice. Even though they're not true.
Yeah.
Nice colours.
I suppose it doesn't really matter as long as it's a pretty fish.
See this, the back, they're hiding at the back. Oh no, here they are. That's Brevirostris. There's a few there. There's 5 in the tank. There's only 2 in the corner. There's 5. And Sarge's green lasers, they're also hiding at the back.
Yeah, I'm just looking at seeing.
I can see them just underneath the plant there. There's one small. They haven't spawned yet. They're closely related to the gold laser, obviously, but they're more difficult to spawn.
Yeah. Then we have...
Well, these are just red putties. You know, Terry said the colours sell, like the reds and the sunset putties. People like bright colours, so they'll just do it as a baseline sort of product. And see what happens. And then there's an agassiz inside here. It's just these are what they call the bumblebees.
Mm-hmm.
So put some sort of intersect, a bit different.
Anything in this bottom one?
That's ancestors tocatins. They're hiding in the breeding. You can see that's a female sitting on top of the breeding cave. The male's inside. They've given me one batch so far, but nothing more, so a bit slow. There's a corrydoras agassiz. They're almost impossible to spawn. I think one guy spawned it recently, and everybody was figuratively patting him on the back, you know, saying well done. It's almost impossible.
Bring it back to these beautiful guppies on this side.
Yeah, and there's super schwarzes. And there's these red-tailed zebra loaches in this tank as well. I think I'm breeding them.
Yeah.
And then there's the Harold Schultzes, which look almost the same as Sturbe.
Sturbe, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that Sturbe's, the one has got white patches on a black background, the other one's got black patches on a white background. They look the same, but they're not.
Yeah, because they've both got these sort of orange fins.
They've got the orange fins and they've got the mottled thing. They look identical, but if you look at the nose, you'll see they're also slightly different in the front of the nose.
Yeah.
Inside there, you can't even see them, the red booktails. There's 3 of them in that tail.
So we can get a picture of these beautiful
You like
guppies
those
here.
guppies?
I do. They're beautiful colours.
They are nice.
Something you don't get to see every day.
No. It's just a fluke. You know, I thought I'd try those green females with the green Moscows, and that's what came out.
Yeah.
So I mean, they'll sell well, but I don't want to breed that. You know, so what was the purpose of the breeding? I can't do everything. You know, that's what I'm saying. I don't have enough space to you know, all of these fish have got to go somewhere sometime.
Mhm. Yeah, once they get too big.
And that's already like above capacity. I had to take those 2215 filters over there, they were here, and I had my 2217s on those 2 tanks, and I've taken them, swapped it, because these are 6 litre capacity, those are 4 litre capacity, and I need more capacity on these tanks, these 2, than I do on those 2.
Yeah.
So I just did a swap, because there's more value in this tank at $4.5 grand, and that's a couple of £100, you know, a few £100.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I don't mind losing a couple of mollies and guppies or tutties, you know, but I can't afford to lose stock over here, because there's a lot of stock. It's not in my pocket yet, but it's coming.
And it's really nice to see so many different types of cory.
Well, this is only the beginning, Mark. I mean, there's a chap on Facebook, Corridors Rural, Lee, he's up in Bradford or something like that. He's got like 61 species, but he must have money. I mean, you know, to buy those things, some of them costing you 25 upwards, the rare species.
Yeah.
You know, I got given those by Jollies, and a customer came in and said he wants a break from fish, find a good home for it. So Tom said to me, I said, well, so those are nice specimens. He said, yes. Well, you wanted a good home. I said, well, I can give him a good home. He said, well, I'm going to take them home for myself. He took them home. The next day, the Saturday morning, he phones me. He says, do you still want those angels? I took them home and my tiger bulbs were harassing them. So he said, they were really molested. He said, you can have them if you want them. I don't know whether I'll breed. I don't know if I've even got a pair, but whatever.
Either way, they're still nice.
I prefer the black veiled angels, it's my favourite. But I mean, if they breed and I get something out of it, makes money for me, I don't really care. If people want to buy them, they buy them, you know. Cherry will buy them from me if I can get them to breed. So I thought, well, I'll just take a chance. No, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Exactly.
Up here's the Schultzes, what they call blacks, the chocolates. I call them chocolate.